What if your content pipeline didn't start with brainstorming, but with real-time search intent? Today I'm walking you through a system I built that does something most people think is impossible. It finds trending topics, creates content, generates AI-powered videos that most people think is pure science fiction, and publishes the content to LinkedIn. It's fully automated, it's intelligent, and honestly, it's a little unsettling how well it works. But here's the thing, this isn't some set it and forget it AI mess that pumps out garbage. This system has bulletproof error handling built in at every critical step. When something breaks, you get an email instantly. Let me show you exactly how it works. Now that I've already covered the first 3 parts of the system in my previous video, so I won't bore you with all the details again. But here is the quick version. Every morning at 10 a.m., a scheduled trigger fires off the first workflow. And the very first thing it does, it checks what we have already processed. See, I don't want this system to waste time reanalyzing the same trend over and over again. I have split the process into 3 parallel branches: tech, business, and marketing, because the SERP API node only supports one category per request. The keywords get merged, formatted, and sent for human approval via email. Once approved, they are stored in Google Sheets. At 4 p.m., a second workflow generates content blueprints, blog titles, outlines, LinkedIn post copy, and hashtags, and sends them for approval. It catches the approved ones and stores them into Google Sheets. I have already explained all of this in detail in my previous video. So if you want the full breakdown of how trend discovery, content approval, and blog generation works, go check that out. Today, I want to focus on the part that took this from cool automation to wait, this actually works. First, the video generation pipeline, where AI turns structured data into cinematic, LinkedIn-ready visuals, and the error handling backbone, because the difference between a pro automation and a ticking time bomb is knowing the exact moment something breaks. Let's dive in. Now, here is something critical most people don't realize. If any node throws any error, and if you don't catch that error, your entire workflow just dies, silently. No notification, no log, nothing. So, let me show you how I bulletproof this thing with a proper error workflow. First, I created a completely separate workflow called error workflow. Inside it, there are just 2 nodes, an error trigger and a Gmail node. That's it. For the error trigger, I don't need to configure it. I don't need to add any logic. I just drop in the trigger. Then I connect it to the Gmail node. The subject and body of the email pull directly from the error trigger's output. What workflow threw the error, which specific node failed, the exact error message, and the timestamp. So, when something breaks, I get an email that looks like this, as you can see on the screen. Now, to actually connect this error workflow to my main workflow, I do this. First, let's open the error workflow. Here, click the 3 dots in the top right corner. Here, in this list, go to settings. Under this workflow can be called by, I select any workflow. Then I click save. Now, coming back in the parent workflow, we will again click the 3 dots in the top right corner. Then we will select settings. Here, we will check error workflow to notify when this one errors. I select error workflow and hit save so that we can connect the parent workflow to the error workflow. Now, if the error comes from Gmail send and wait node or any other node, it gets caught and emailed to me immediately. No silent failures, no debugging nightmares at 2 a.m. Now, let's zoom into the real engine room of this system, the weekly AI content generation and video pipeline. This is where strategy turns into actual publishable media automatically. Every week, the workflow kicks off by pulling the last 7 days of trend data. No guessing, just what's actually working right now. That data goes through a code node that selects top 3 content opportunities worth posting about this week. Those 3 ideas are sent into a dedicated AI content generator. This agent doesn't just write fluff. It produces structured full block content, man-made diagram, and business-ready LinkedIn content designed to sound human, not AI-motivated poster. Next comes the creative compression layer. This is where things get cinematic. 2 AI agents run in sequence. The first agent compresses the LinkedIn post into a short cinematic concept, a punchy caption, a one-line visual idea, a compact environment description. That structured output gets stored back into Google Sheets, so everything stays logged and versioned. Then, a second AI agent takes the exact data and transforms it into a professional VEO3 style video prompt. No sci-fi, no influencer cringe, just grounded, realistic, office-style cinematic video prompts built specifically for LinkedIn. This agent follows a strict format, so the video model doesn't hallucinate something that belongs in a Marvel trailer. Once the prompt is generated, it goes straight into the video generation node. VEO3 creates the short form video. The finished video is uploaded straight to Google Drive, made publicly accessible, and logged into Google Sheets alongside the LinkedIn content, hashtags, and generated blog data. Next, the system generates a mermaid diagram image. The mermaid diagram, along with the video and content, gets packaged and sent out through Gmail for approval. When the approver replies, second part of the workflow wakes up. It parses the email response, checks whether the content is approved or rejected, and updates Google Sheets accordingly. Once approved, the system goes fully autonomous. It pulls the approved blog data, hashtags, and mermaid diagram from Google Sheets. Then it formats everything into a LinkedIn-ready payload and publishes the post directly to LinkedIn. Most people build content systems that run either on autopilot and produce garbage or require so much manual work, they might as well not exist. This isn't just automation for automation's sake. This is about removing friction from the creative process while keeping human judgment exactly where it belongs. The system doesn't replace you, it amplifies you. It handles the heavy lifting like the API calls, the formatting, the tracking, the publishing, so you can focus on strategy, creativity, and decision making. The best part of this workflow, every piece of this is traceable, auditable, and reversible. Nothing happens in a black box, just a clean, scalable content engine that works while you focus on what actually moves the needle. That's how you build a content pipeline that doesn't just run, it thinks. I'm curious, what part of your content pipeline would you automate first? Let me know in the comments below.